Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a little bit of a review on the movie The Young Woman and the Sea. So this movie came out to theaters a little while ago, but I didn't see it because it only came to select theaters. So it finally was released on Disney Plus on July 19th. So I finally got a chance to watch it and I loved this movie. I thought it was so well done, so well acted, so well everything. I really liked it. So this movie is based on a true story. It stars Daisy Ridley as Trudy Ederle, who was the first woman to swim the English Channel. Not only did she swim the English Channel, she actually beat the current men's record for the length of time it took her to swim the English Channel. Because this movie is based on a true story, I feel like it's hard for me to not talk about spoilers or anything because this all happened in real life. I'm just going to kind of just quickly talk about my thoughts and opinions on this movie. Also, I did read up on some trivia to kind of get an idea of what they definitely exaggerated in this movie because it's a movie opposed to real life and stuff, and like, you know, what they embellished for Hollywood and whatnot. And from what I could read, there was only a few things that they really embellished. First thing being how poorly Trudy did at the Paris Olympics. She actually did pretty well, and in the movie they portrayed that she did like really poorly and got like a bronze and like nothing else. In reality, she actually did it very well at the Olympics. I don't know if she necessarily won gold, but she still did very well. However, it was still said that this had been like an experiment on if women should be allowed in the Olympics, and the experiment did very poorly. So it was true that after these Olympics, it had been kind of decided that women would no longer be allowed to participate in the Olympics. Another thing that was added to the movie that was not real was in this movie, we see that she doesn't complete her first swim across the English Channel, and so she's ready to go home. Even her sponsor is ready to bring her home, and she jumps out the port window to stay in France to then try and attempt to swim the English Channel again. When reading trivia, we did learn that this did happen in the sense that she failed the English Channel the first time. In reality, she did go home. Between her first and second swim, she did go home to New York and then went back to France to attempt it again. So that's a very small detail in my opinion. The detail being that instead of not going home, she did go home and then came back to France to try it again. So small detail, but for the most part, from what I could read, it seemed like this movie was actually pretty darn accurate to reality, which I thought is always very impressive in a based on true story movie. So this movie is really good. The acting is amazing. I absolutely love Daisy Ridley, so I was so excited as soon as this movie was announced. I was very disappointed when it wasn't coming to any theaters near me, but I was very excited to see it and watch it right away when it did come onto Disney Plus. And my only thing I have to say about it is that I hope they come out with a DVD of this so I can add this to my collection because it was done by Disney. So I would be able to add it to my Disney movie shelf, which would be very cool. One thing I did not realize going into this movie that I learned throughout was just how much this movie not only was about Trudy's story, but it was more about what she did having an impact on women in sports. I think that was the main point of this movie, especially you realize that at the end of the movie when they talk about the fact that she was the first woman to swim the English Channel. She beat the men's record for swimming the English Channel. When she returned to New York, they had this massive parade for her. That was something that I thought was dramatized in the movie, was this ginormous parade, but it actually happened. And not only did it happen, but it was the largest parade they have ever had for an athlete in New York, both man or woman. Not even like Babe Ruth at the time ever had a parade that massive. And after her swim happened and she finished and she went back to New York and there was so much press around this, did people really start taking women's sports seriously, especially in the Olympics? I just think that's so amazing that she had such this incredible impact, not only on women's swimming, but just women in sports in general. About halfway-ish through the movie, when she's invited to the Olympics in Paris, they're on their way to Paris, and the women are given no time to practice because they can't be in their swimsuits, they can't be indecent in front of the men, and the men need to train. So they get no time to train, and that's part of the reason she did so poorly in the Olympics, is because she had no time to train. Her and all of her US competitors, they didn't get any time to train for the Olympics because, again, how dare women be in bathing suits and be indecent in front of men, and the men get priority. Even little things like, for example, she wears like a long one-piece type bathing suit. That's what she wears every time she practices. That's what she wore her first attempt of this English Channel. And then her sister adjusts it to make it more comfortable on her and basically turns her bathing costume into a bikini, like a sports bra type top, and then longer biker short type bathing suit shorts. And I thought that was totally dramatized, but they showed footage of the real Trudy Ederle entering the English Channel for her second swim, and that is what she was wearing. So I was like, oh, I kind of thought that was just kind of made up based on how they portrayed it, but no, that's actually what happened. She actually did wear this like bikini type outfit, which is like super duper unheard of for women at the time to wear a two-piece like that. Earlier in the movie, we even see a woman getting removed from the beach because her bathing costume is too inappropriate. So this movie was so amazing to just see the impact that this woman had on so many things. At the very beginning of the movie, we meet Trudy when she's very young and she has the measles, and she beats the measles, which is insane in those days. The doctor even says, I'm going to go up and sit with her, and when I come back down, Trudy will be dead. And then later on in the evening, Trudy actually comes down and she's saying that the doctor fell asleep and he's snoring and it woke her up. But she's totally fine. She beat the measles, and she was told her entire life like she couldn't swim because getting water in her ear could potentially make her lose her hearing. Eventually in life, we never see this in the movie, but eventually in life she did lose her hearing. She just took that as an opportunity to now teach children who are deaf how to swim, because as we see at the beginning of this movie, it is very important for Trudy's mother that her children learn how to swim. So as she grew up, she obviously still believes it's very important for children to learn to swim. There was a lot about this movie that I was not expecting. I honestly didn't realize, because honestly I had never heard of Trudy Ederle until this movie came out. I thought it was incredible to see how this event impacted so much on women's sports. Overall, just talking about the movie in general, I thought the movie was so good. Daisy Ridley was so amazing as Trudy Ederle. I can't even imagine the amount of training she had to go through in order to portray this role, in the sense of learning to long distance swim like this. Obviously, we all know she didn't swim that far in comparison to what the actual Trudy Ederle swam, but she still had to learn how to swim for long periods of time and be able to hold herself up in the water, especially in the one of the very last scenes of the movie where she is lost at sea and she doesn't know where she's going and she's just bobbing in the current, and just having to deal with that, whether or not it was filmed in a real location or in a soundstage. That's still a lot for a person to have to do, is try to just float in the water and bob there and still be acting but also surviving. I think she did an incredible job. There were so many incredible performances in this movie. It was really well done. I really liked this movie. Like I said, I would love for this to come out on DVD so I can own it, but for the time being it is available on Disney Plus, and I very highly recommend everybody watch it, especially women in sports, not necessarily even just swimming, but just women in sports. I feel like you will definitely appreciate this movie and just appreciate what Trudy Ederle did for women in sports. That is it for now. That is my review on The Young Woman and the Sea. I loved it. I thought it was really good. I thought Daisy Ridley was incredible, and I will definitely be rewatching it in the future. That's going to be it for now. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, I would love it if you would like and subscribe. I post new videos every single Friday, and I would love to have you here. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you later. Bye, everybody.